They made the episode.
What was your thoughts around it?
You know what? This is, I know women are big offenders of this, but just in life in general, if you dish it, you got to be able to take it. I'm big on that. Whatever I put out, whatever energy I put out, I need to be able to take back. And I feel like everyone should live by that. If you cannot take the energy that you're putting out in the atmosphere, don't put it out there. Because the stuff that Gina was saying was like a white person's version of racism to other white people. Like saying that you don't like ginger characteristics, that felt racist to me. I don't know if it is, but it felt like kind of like back in the day, in America where Irish immigrants were the first N-words, they were the first black people. Like the way they treated the Irish, like they were also not the first, but they were one of the marginalized groups of people at a point in time. And they had red ginger features. And to hear her say, like, I don't like ginger features, it felt off to me. It felt racist to me. And then she kept going on multiple times. And I want to contrast that with the way the other black couple, help me with the names. I'm so bad with these names. The bald head and the pretty one.
Kirsten and Shaq.
Thank you, Kirsten. Yeah, the way Kirsten told Shaq that she didn't like his bald head at first, but then she kind of like reversed it and kind of like massaged it and said, she likes where she's at now. That was still, maybe she didn't need to say that, but she really kind of eased it over. It seemed like Gina was just like nailing it over and over and over again, 5 different ways, the way she didn't like this man. And then you see in the preview, she's gonna kind of bring it up again in front of company, but mad that he turns around and said that he liked somebody who was more slender. How are you mad at that? To me, it's just ridiculous, and I didn't like it. And there's more tactful ways of saying that someone wasn't necessarily your type. Because to me, it's like if you say that to a person over and over and over again, too early in the relationship, and I think Clint alluded to this, it was so early on in their relationship that he was saying that, you really kind of leave a bad taste in your partner's mouth that you may not be able to come back from. I just felt like it was too early to be sabotaging like that. So that's just my thought, and it felt racist, and I didn't like it because I'm trying to figure out what ginger features are. And the gag is, I don't know if the other people in the comments barely saw a difference, and maybe it's just a black thing where we don't notice these small things that white people notice, but his hair was hardly different than her hair. I swear I didn't even see it until she made this big deal about the fact that his hair is red. His hair barely looked red to me. So, I don't know. Thought it was ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't think it's racism though. I think maybe, harsh, but he's white, so it's not racism. But I understand where you're coming from.
There's a word for it. I'm not saying it's actually racism before someone try to correct me, but there's a word for the discrimination that Irish immigrants felt in discrimination against gingered people. I just don't know it. So someone knows that you can drop it in the comments, but it is a thing though.
Oh no, I definitely know that back in the day, Irish had a hard way to go, which is why when the Queen passed, God rest her soul, many of them were, aligning with some of us people of color too, because they too, have a history of colonialism and things of that nature. But I just want to just call out that it's not racism, So I think her opening the door for that conversation just is going to set the stage for future discord in them. Like, why would you, she pretty much just kept doubling down on it. And she was like, and that's who you are. And he just sat there in silence. I watched the after show. I don't know if you saw it, Coach, but when Gina started describing her type, which is another thing why I say that it's not racism, because it seemed like she likes the brothers. She was like, I like darker skin and this and that and beards. Because even when they were talking with Shaq and he was talking about his experiences with Kirsten about his bald head. She was like, I like a bald head. I like a beard and all of these things. I like dark skin. Gina probably likes the brothers. If I had to guess, also her body type, she's a little more curvy. I think she might be liking the brothers. And plus she got that nose ring. It's a couple tells in there that it might be the brothers that she's more so, maybe had experience in dating. And sometimes that happens with with white girls is, if they're a little thicker on the thicker side, they can sometimes land in the pond with us fellas of color over here.
Not the pond.
Well, hey, I'm trying to use my words wisely, so I'm just bumping my gums at this point. However, I think like ultimately she opened up the door. She opened up the door for him to go full tilt. Again, I just gave a whole thesis on you can't match energy. So I hope Clint doesn't, fully unload a clip on her, because there's a lot he could unload on her about. So I hope he just takes it easy, but she asked, he told. That's it.
Yeah, so I think there is an aspect of anti ginger and against, it's a prejudice. There's a prejudice and discrimination against being ginger. There is a real thing that actually happens amongst white folks. So that actually is a real thing. But I think Glint, Gina and Clint, their issue and their situation. I think what's the most difficult thing about them is the fact that, you know, I think her way. I realized that her pontification at that point was not necessary. Like her need to break down how she felt about him. Just I don't think it was even needed. Like it didn't feel like she needed to say all of that. And then the wording that she used in that moment in time as well was just problematic. I was just like, babe, like how are you describing your situation with oh boy in this particular way? I was like, yeah, that's not going to encourage anybody to want to be drawn to you. I'm struggling, I'm trying to be like, and I was like, what Gina, where did this Gina come from? Where did this uppity Gina come from? Sis was so focused on her business and everything like that. And now we've got a situation where, now we've got a situation where, she's complaining about what Clint said to her. And to be fair, Clint said it in front of the other group. That's the only reason why I think it picked up traction. But I was like, why are we doing this, Gina? Why are we saying all of this? And then I was like, okay. And someone said it actually. Celery kind of put it up there. I think she was getting in there before he got in there. I think she sensed something, and maybe she started to self sabotage a little bit. Um, and that for me just tells me that there's a little bit of fear there, a little bit of hurt, some wounds there in her life that, when it comes to dating, because it was just like, babe, where are you going? Like, what the heck is happening here? Like, why are we doing this? Why are we talking to Clint in this way? What is the emphasis of speaking about him and him being ginger and him um uh you know uh him not being your type, and then going batting on about gingers and they're not really what you normally go for. I was like, man, why are we doing this? That's what I wanted to know. I wanted to know, why are we doing this? That's what I wanted to know. So yeah, for me, I saw that and I thought it was unnecessary. So I don't know what Clint maybe done. I don't know what she felt Clint has done to her, whatever. But yeah, she self sabotaged out of that place, boy. Yeah, bro.
Yeah, she doesn't like him though. And I think, she's well within
That's
her
true.
rights to not feel that way. But I don't think it's a if P then Q. Like I'm just seeing this, oh, she's trying to get ahead of the enemy. No, she's not. She just doesn't like him. She's not attracted to him. And she even said it on the live, on the after party rather, that they were having this banter that was very open, and she felt like they got to a point where they were too honest. So she's just not that into him. And I mean, she's well within her rights to not like him, and he's not her type. It's going to be what it's going to be. But I think she could have said it a whole lot differently, and I don't think she needed to like ram it down his throat. And as much as I think Kirsten is a top level elite gaslighter, she hasn't like ram jammed it down his throat directly. You can just read the room and see that she's not. And I think it's okay. Like if you're not attracted to someone, then you don't have to kiss them. I don't care married at first sight or not. You shouldn't have to. Now, hopefully part 2 will get to dive into her elite level gaslighting, because she gonna gaslight if she gonna do anything else. Now that you can miss me, but I rather that, because it's a softer pill to swallow. It's much softer to swallow versus Gina. She's just coming in guns a-blazing. And meanwhile, during the process, she talked about how, you know, she did a lot of work to lose weight, and she hopes that she gets somebody that's accepting of her. But straight out the gate, you just boom, 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 boom. You're firing shots because the guy doesn't physically match what. And then you say, well, I guess, you know, attraction, it can grow. There's no growing, because now you got in his head. You're going to tell me I'm unattractive, and you're going to like nitpick all my features, and then you're going to tell me attraction can grow? No, it can grow. You can go. How about that?
Absolutely, but I just... Sorry, go for it, Go for it, Go for it.
It's okay.
No, it's all right. I've spoken of it. You good. Go for it, babe.
I was just going to say, well, that's all I'm saying. Like, she's in her right not to think he's cute. And I agree with the comments. I don't think she likes black men. I think she likes Italian men. Maybe she'll dibble and dabble, but that's fine. But as soon as he said that she a big girl or a big girl adjacent, she should have took it on the chin and smirked and kept it moving, because you already knew everything he said. So if you gonna talk, if she would have just said it one time, I would have said, nah, you didn't have to come with that girl being bigger than what you normally would date. But she said it like 3-4 times, and who knows what else she said that they didn't get on camera. So where she messed up is, if you gonna talk about that man in 11 ways, if he calls you a big girl, you need to take that on the chin. And I would have respected her for that. If she would have said, you know, you ain't for me. He said, well, you ain't for me. All right, cool. That's what you should do. If you have insecurities, you can't be talking about other people. That's where she messed up at. Not liking him, because he wouldn't be my type either. Even as a white person, he wouldn't be my type. But yeah, but if he would say, you know, I don't like you, you bald head, you this, you that, I'm gonna have to laugh, because I done talked about that man. So I'm just saying. That's where she messed up at.
I'm gonna say, when are we gonna, you know what? When are white people gonna call out their own stuff? I'm just sorry. When I hear white folk talking about I only date brunettes, it's given I only date light skins. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It's given the same energy, okay? You know, I honestly, because the way she came at him for being ginger, that was given I don't date dark skin babes, I date light skin babes. I'm just gonna tell you the straight. That's what all I was hearing was the same old thing. Okay, that was the same old thing I was hearing. I was saying that same discrimination. I was saying that same energy, and it's like, honestly, it was so. When she started with, you know what, I'm not really feeling this. The physical, physical attraction is not really there at the moment. I'm trying to grow into it. He said, you know what, I feel the exact same kind of way. I'm feeling it. Do you know what I mean? Da-da-da-da. It could have ended there. It's the fact that after there's a little bit of a conversation before that, and then it goes into, you know what, I don't date, you know, I don't really do gingers, you know, da 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 da. You're not that, you know, not that, you know, I'm not saying that you're ugly per se or anything, baby. It's giving you dark skin and I only date light skins. That's what it was giving. That's what it felt like. You know, that same kind of energy, or even the reverse. I only date dark skin, I date like, whatever you want to call it. But it was just like, it was honestly gingerism. Yeah, it was some hardcore gingerism, and it was like how does the hair translate? Because she almost made the hair, or the ginger hair, translatable into a personality. That is what I'm talking about. That's why I said if you don't deep it, they have their own issues. This is why they probably promoted us and have our colorism, because they've got their own issues in their community. Because she changed the fact that he's ginger into his own personality. Like, gingers are like this.
Well, I will tell you, I don't know if they say it as much here in or as much over there in the UK, but they say redheads and they're fiery, right? So they have like fiery personalities. So it's a whole bunch of things attached to their hair color and the freckles and this and that. Sometimes they'll call if a woman is ginger, they'll call her a fire crotch. So there's all types of little silly, goofy things. So.
I think Coach is frozen.
Yeah, he's definitely frozen.
But you know why he unfreezes? I even learned this on TikTok.
But she might not even be a fire crap.
Oh.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah. No, I was saying that I know obviously it's like odd because we're kind of talking about, we usually talk about this in our community and we're talking about their community, but it's literally the fact that she was linking, like, if you start linking hair color to what someone actually does, that is problematic, right? Because we saw Brent, what's her name? What was her name from last few seasons ago, where Brent and another girl were talking. What was her name? Red hair as well. Is it Brent? Was it Brent? Her name?
Brett and Ryan.
What part of Brett was fiery? That girl was the most palpable girl. She was nowhere near fiery, not even close. We didn't even get any fire from her. So when we start linking,
fired up that app and was dating during the season, we just didn't see it. And she was messy as hell. But I get what you're saying.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like when you start linking someone's behavior to a hair color, that is problematic. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and so for me, I was like, oh, okay, wait. You know, I said they got their own issues in their community, bro. Like they're moving mad in this thing. And we don't date gingers because what? Because of a characteristic? Yo, that's wild to me. Just saying, it's just wild to me. Man and woman, when they say those things, I'm telling you, it's wild to me. You know what I mean? It's bad. It's wild to me. But, you know, hey, who am I to say anything? I'm not in the white community. But, you know, I don't know. I don't know. Poor gingers. They're out here getting shot for no reason. You know?
Listen, they can dye that hair a different color. I'm sorry. I'm having a tough time. I'm having a tough time with the sympathy. I'm sorry. I can't. They can dye that hair brown. They can dye it whatever color they want to dye it. They'll be okay.
No, but they still notice. They still notice. Look, they can dye it a different color, but the features they notice.
That's the turn.
But I just can't give too much. I just don't have the energy to just overly sympathize with gingers. I'm sorry. That's just me.
How can you not? They go through a lot of pain and struggles, bro.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I can't. I'm sorry. But I hear you guys. And I understand that it's, you know, it's probably not the most fair thing in the world, but I'm definitely not going to, you know, really go down that avenue of let's just, you know, have a whole sympathy train and, you know, campaign for gingers to have equal rights.
Okay, but
it's not equal rights.
Anywhere, injustice anywhere. It's injustice everywhere. Okay, so
yeah, no, not there. I'm sorry. There's too much else going on, and I'm not interested at all. I'm saying, you can go off. You can run a ginger campaign. You can do all of that, but it won't be me.
It's not about crying about the gingers. It's the fact that if she's willing to go on and on and on about a ginger's features, what do you think she's saying about us?
And again, my perception, some would disagree. I think she likes men of color. Everything, a bunch of things together tell me Gina likes.
You just want Gina's titties on your forehead. She don't like no men of color.
I'm not attracted to Gina, truth be told. And when everybody was running around saying she's attractive, I don't find her attractive at all. I
think she's a little bit attractive.
No, there's nothing at all. However, this is what my experience with people of you know, the other color and persuasion. Certain things, when you start to build little pieces of the puzzle together, that I told you before, the nose ring, she's thick, you know, her personality, the way she's described them. Yeah. And again, just because a woman likes men of color doesn't mean she's never dated white guys before either. I didn't say she exclusively dates black men. I just said I think she might like them. Because she was very complimentary of Shaq. She was like, I wouldn't have any problem with you. She was very complimentary of Shaq. So that leads me to believe she's a little open to, you know, to the brothers. I could be wrong, but that's what I think, and that's what I see. So for the person that said groupthink, this is the opposite of groupthink right here on this one.
I definitely hear you. I definitely hear you on that still. I'm not mad at it, you know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at it. Just yeah. And then obviously Clint choosing the group to say what he said, timing. I always say this timing. I think if he had done it personally when she was alone one-to-one with him, it would have been equal measure. But the moment he said it from the group, he gonna get cussed by the whole group. They don't have context. They never saw what happened before. So, you know, and then obviously then he forgot that he said about she's slender, because he actually did say she's slender. I don't think that's even an issue personally, but you said it from the group. Again, that's the problem. So yeah, I think there's some issues there, which I think both Clint and old girl Gina have to sort out. I think, you know, choosing your timing is wise. Choosing the time when you actually speak up is very, very wise as well. So yeah, let's quickly